you talk about the knowledge that we know as designers, knowing them and learning them from people that actually, before all of this fancy, all
Mm-hmm.
all the things, that they're going to the basics and understanding that, and not like, I'm hitting a couple things on here, I'm adding some things here, that looks all
Mm-hmm.
pretty, and let's, like you're saying, glitter, they put the glitter on it, but it's like you take off the glitter, I'm like, is it still good?
Mm-hmm.
Put
I'm
all
glad you understand. You know how many people don't catch that reference? You know, people don't catch that reference.
I
I'm
tell
like, F the
people, I
glitter.
tell people,
Designers
yeah.
know.
Well, I talk to
Designers know.
people about logos, designing them as black, because I was like, you put all the stuff on there. I could put 16 colors on there, but if I make it black and you don't like it, it's not good.
Please say that again for the people in the back.
The MTG podcast is a virtual space for women and men in the tech and creative industries.
Tune in as we put it all on the table, sharing authentic life truths as we sustain and empower each other in search of our tribe.
We're more than a designer. We're more than our name badge. We're more than the work we produce.
Welcome to the More Than Graphics podcast.
We're that tribe.
I like that intro. That is hot.
Come on. We in the realm of graphic designers. We know how to do things.
I like that.
Welcome, everybody, to More Than Graphics podcast. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Priscilla.
And man, do we have a really good episode for y'all today. But for those who are new to the space, welcome. This platform is for women, by women, for women of color, by women of color. Holy cow. Like, how did we do that? We kind of feel like it's sacred, right, Priscilla? Like, this is it's a sacred space. Our guest today, not only someone that I actually know, like in the universe, but someone who actually is doing her thing, and she's doing it very, very well. I absolutely want to preface all of this with, we don't even know what's about to happen in this conversation. I don't even know. The mountains may part, the seas may open up, the sky, it may fall, because of what is being spoken in the space. So, well, today's guest is Ashlee Green. She's a master of graphics. There you go. Ashlee Green is oh yes. Ashlee Green is an animated, bright, problem-solving industry designer, speaker, and teacher who is on mission to help entrepreneurs build and grow profitable businesses by designing their professional brands with her company, Louise Creative. Come through. Ashlee's dedication, hard work, and determination to avoid a life of mediocrity is what inspired her unique background. She is a self-taught graphic and brand designer, even though she holds a BA in psychology and half a master's degree in professional counseling. Wow.
Yeah, only half. Yeah.
Ashlee that she can be free to design for whomever she chooses, including herself. In fact, she recently launched a podcast, F the Glitter, which caters to other like-minded creatives by thinking outside of conventional ideas, but staying within the rules, allows Ashlee to help people navigate their wants, determine their needs, and figure out the steps needed to achieve their business goals. Ashlee, welcome to the show, girl. What's up?
How you doing? No, that bio sound real good when y'all say it though. You read it out loud, it's like, oh.
Got the voice.
It's the content for me. You have done already so many amazing things. And what I love about this convo is that it is a group of graphic designers. You can say something and we know exactly what you're talking about.
You're my people.
So I'm really excited to kind of get into this theme of master. So for you, how many years?
Professionally, about 10.
Yes.
Professionally 10. But I've been in front of a computer. Oh, Jesus. My dad is a programmer. So we've always had computers in the house. So Paint was always available. Like before, like when it was MS-DOS and it was all just the blue screen with that ugly window in front and it rated like that. You had to type. Since then, right? But I didn't start designing for real until 2003 when I was in high school. I was a junior in high school and I started designing. I tried to start a business with my older brother who can draw. And I had found Cafe Press. And so he would draw the stuff and I would like digitize it and put it on Cafe Press. I never made any money, but that's where Lou Ink came from. Because my middle name is Louise and he was the ink. So Lou Ink, because he could draw and I couldn't, but I was, I was doing it. And then I kept Lou Ink up until 2017. Like I kept the name up until 2017 when I switched over. I realized that I'm not a kid anymore. And Lou Ink didn't sound very adult, especially for the adult money that I was trying to make with it. So I switched it up and I prayed on it, thought about it for a long time. And it took me a good couple months. And then I came up with A Louise. I was like, it is me. It's just me. So why not? So it might change soon because life has changed. But yeah, I've been doing it for a long time.
Ooh, I love this already. Like, I love it. And I love the fact too, like, and take note, all you young hipsters out there, if you don't understand what Cafe Press is, we went one step back for you. This is like the platform to create mass production things. So if you had
before there was Printful and Printify.
Yes, exactly.
We had Cafe Press back in 2002, 2003. Okay.
So I guess in terms of master, you were already kind of thinking on a much larger scale. Like you were taking small things and already scaling them to t-shirts and printed items to billboards and then moving on to even bigger items. I love that you are always thinking bigger, even when in the process it's still small. Right. I think that's really cool. That's a really cool, unique gift to have because a lot of people only see what's in front of them, but you're already envisioning what's happening 2 or 5 steps
what's
ahead.
Gonna happen. Yeah. Well, my dad is an entrepreneur. And so I grew up seeing that too. So it's like, oh, okay. Like there's always a way. Like, even though my dad always had like a traditional job, he always had something after work. Like he was working, like he wrote this program for jewelry stores called Our Gems. And he was a freelancer for jewelry chains and was like, that was their point of sale software that he wrote. So like after he got off from work, he was sitting in front of his computer coding like all the time. So while we were watching TV, cartoons, whatever, he was on, or I tell you, go way back. Like my dad had one of those laptops, the portable computer, the first portable computer. It was like the size of a television and it was about as heavy as a microwave. And it had this keyboard that like clicked off and came down and you had like 50 million cords plugged into the back of it. And the only difference was it wasn't on the desk and it wasn't like 50 pounds. It was like 20 pounds. But like, that's what we had. So it's like, yeah, I've always been around it. Like it's always been a thing. Like,
oh my gosh, I love that. It so reminds me of I'm totally crushing here, but I'm like, it reminds me of those moments like when you watch Grandma's Boy in those early days of them like coding all the video games. Like I feel like that was your dad, like in the early years, these big old massive computers that we're still trying to figure out. That's so cool. Kudos to your dad. That's awesome. Okay, so I definitely want to kind of dig in a little bit more into like your typical methods for self-care as you're mastering things. Well, let me go back to the original point. What's something that you have mastered for yourself that you're really proud of?
I have for myself, I have mastered pulling out what people are really trying to say. I think part of that is a big help with, my psychology background and like reading, like body language, social cues, and changes in the tonation of people's voice. But I know like when I first started and, you got that first client and they're like, I want to sell to everybody. And then you learn after 2-3, headaches, you be like, you can't sell to everybody. Like that don't work. Who are we talking to? Right. And so you get that one client who's really passionate and they're like, yeah, this is for the moms. You be like, okay, the moms who do what? And they be like, the moms who mom. You're like, okay, so how old are their kids? They're like 2 or 3. They'd be like, oh, okay, the kids are 2 or 3. So they're not momming outside the house very often, are they? And they'd be like, nah, they're not. And I'd be like, and they need grocery delivery, right? And they'd be like, yeah, so you're going to find them on Walmart.com or Target.com, right? They'd be like, yeah. So that's where your ads need to be in your audience because those are the people we trying to reach. And they'd be like, oh, I didn't know that. And they'd be like, okay, so how old is your mom? Well, she's about 35. She's 35, so she's tired. Okay, and she got how much money she making? She make between 50, 60,000 a year. Okay, cool. So she make between 50, 60,000 a year. She's got a toddler, so she pays for daycare. You're like, yeah, she pays for daycare. Okay, so what daycare they go to? They go to a high-end daycare, or do they go to an in-home daycare? They go to an in-home daycare. Okay, that makes sense. So your person doesn't want to spend too much money on whatever it is you're trying to sell because they already thinking about their coins with this in-home daycare, right? But yeah. Okay, so now we done broke down who we talking to. Now I know what I'm supposed to design. So I'd say that's been like that right there is, and it's the most fun too, because it's like, so what you're really trying to say is we're talking to Jennifer, not Bethany. Yeah, got you. I got you. You know, because it helps. It makes a difference with the effectiveness of the graphics. Because if I put something together and it looks like a Louis Vuitton ad, but we're trying to sell people who shop at Target, well, that's not gonna work, you know, like those two totally different groups of folks that, you know, that we're trying to sell to. So it that has been like one of the best things that I mastered in this industry, quite honestly.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Yay, this is why you're here, because I love it. I love how you broke that down for us. And for those who are not in our industry, that don't maybe underappreciate this level of work, like, I need you to get up out your seat and throw a shoe, because this is what we do for real. Because this is the realness of what we do. This is what we do every single day. I love that. I love how you broke that down. Audiences are so important. So I would love to hear maybe a time where you had to really work hard to get a particular audience. What was that? I mean, when I say work hard, I mean it was difficult. Has there been a moment or a story where it's like, girl, I give up?
Yeah, there have. And it must have been very traumatic because I don't even remember who it was. I have a client, you know, you had that one client you've been working with for so long and you just don't want to break up with them, even though it's probably better for your health. Ooh. I have a client like that. And I love them to death because they've been rocking with me since I first started. And I put out them ugly flyers in 2007. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been rocking with me, right? And because I've evolved them, because it's like, you're mine now. Like whenever I upgrade, I'm gonna upgrade you too. And so I remember when we first started, it was before I knew much about, you know, defining an audience, anything like that. And they were a spa. And, you know, they were, at first it was, you know, I want everybody, you know, I want men and women. I just want them to relax. And then it was like, okay, that's not working. We're not making any sales. Because at that point you're invested. So you're like, we're not making any sales. I need you to make your money back so you can keep paying me. So we're not making any sales. We gotta fix something here. And it had been going on for like 7 or 8 years. It was like, look, man, I love you, but this is not going to work because you keep changing. It's like they keep changing the goalpost. It's like we finally get somewhere and we might get some traction. And it's like, okay, you got to keep up your social media. I am not. Look, I'm your graphic designer. I'm not your assistant, yo. I cannot keep up your social media. I cannot, you know, write all the emails. I can design the emails, but I cannot write the emails. I cannot schedule everything to go out. That is not my job. My job is to make it look good and to make sure it works. Okay. And this person started like treating me like an assistant. And then they kept changing what we were trying to do. And it was like, look, are we trying to sell massage or are we trying to sell facials? Like, what are we doing here? And if we're trying to sell both, we need to separate them so we can target the people who want facials and target the people who want massage. No, I want it all together. Oh my God. And then like I couldn't understand their pricing system because the pricing kept changing, and then the membership was weird, and it was like, you know what? I love you, and I don't want to hurt your feelings, so I'm gonna bow out nicely and just let you know here are all of your files, and if there's an emergency, I'll come back. But this is not gonna work for us. So,
yes. I mean, what I took from that was, this is the energy that I'm giving, and after that, there ain't none.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
Dr. Ross
literally that's the gospel that I took from this message.
But that's important though, is learning your limits, learning your boundaries, and being strong enough to stick with them. Because, like, you know, they say in relationships, you can't be mad at somebody who keeps crossing your boundaries if you keep letting them cross your boundaries. Well, it's the same thing in business, especially entrepreneurship, and you're a freelancer, because everything's business and personal, because your business is your life. Because if you don't work, you don't eat, right? So it's like you have to set certain boundaries in place, and you have to teach your clients how to respect you in that space so that they don't cross those lines, because otherwise they'll nudge like scope creep. They'll nudge, and they say, you know, they're calling you at 10 o'clock at night. You be like, oh, hey, it's Tuesday. I don't know you. Whoa, back up. So yeah.
I love this. And it comes with such a grain of lemonade, y'all. Like, I'm loving it every single time. Like, slurp, slurp, slurp. It is bad. I love it. I love the fact too that you use a form of boundaries as a form of self-care.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to hear even like maybe some ideas in and around self-care that has really helped you elevate yourself.
Well, I would say, like, okay, so like every freelance designer that I know of, we all go through like the hustle grind phase, right? Where we're working all the time, we're working overnight, we get up, go to our regular job, come home, and we do the side hustle, work till 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And I think the first level of self-care is when you realize that you can't do this anymore, and you stop accepting all the teeny tiny jobs and only accept the higher paying jobs, so you don't have to do as many. Like that's the first level. Is like once you realize, and nobody realizes it when somebody tell you, you got to burn out first before you accept the truth, right? So like that first level is, okay, something got to change because I'm tired and I ain't making no money. Like we got to fix this. So you stop accepting little rinky-dink jobs, and no shade to the rinky-dink jobs. Y'all just not charging enough, y'all. I'm sorry. But you stop doing the low income jobs, we'll say that. And you start charging more. So then you start attracting clients who are willing to pay more, right? And then you have to decide who you want to work with, who you want to work for, and what you want to do. And during that stage is when you find out the types of jobs you enjoy doing that always give you joy, that always excite you. And then you only start doing those jobs. So that's like the second phase, right? First, you stop doing the rinky-dink, no paying jobs. And then it's like, okay, I'm only going to do what I want to do. I'm the boss. I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't want to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? So then that's how I learned. I'm not social media. I don't do social media. That's not my ministry. I can't do it. You'll be mad at me because scheduling just ain't it. Like that's just not how it works. So you stop doing the rinky-dink jobs, then you find out what you like. You only do that. And then you start setting your hours. Like that's when you be like, all right, look, after a certain time, I'm not doing this no more. And after certain days, I'm not doing this anymore. So I think after I was working for CPS for a while, I was an investigator. So I was a social worker nobody wanted to meet. And that job is draining. And I had to completely pause everything. I was doing wedding stationery then. I had to stop everything for like 2 years because I never had time. Like I couldn't think creatively beyond, you know, and I had a baby on the way. So it was just a lot happening. So after 2 kids in, I decided to go back to my little job at the print shop because it allowed me the creative freedom to be able to do what I wanted to do. But then I still had energy after I left work to still be a mom and still be a partner and still, you know, do what I was supposed to do. And I realized that I didn't want to work on Saturday and Sunday no more. Like that was it. Like I didn't want to do it anymore. So I just stopped. And whatever didn't get done on Friday, just didn't get done on Friday. And I let people know, it's like, hey, I didn't get this finished. So I'm just not going to do this until Monday after I get off my regular job, you know? And then when I went full-time freelance, the next boundary was, what time do I stop? And so one of my clients is actually one of my best friends now. Like we've been on for about 10 years now. She's one of my best friends now. And I had to kind of train her into, after 5 o'clock, I'm not answering any more of your business texts. I'll look at it, I'll see it, but I'm not going to answer it until tomorrow morning. And if tomorrow morning happens to be Saturday, I'll text you and be like, hey, I see it, but I'm not going to answer you till Monday. And she respects that. But that comes with communication too. You have to be able to communicate with your clients. Like, look, these are my hours. But by setting those boundaries, it allowed me to have energy to be a parent, to be a partner, to work on my own stuff, but also to enjoy it, because I wasn't always working all the time. And so in having that creative freedom to, okay, well, I'm working on this, or this thing is really, rocking my nerves. I can't figure this book out, or I don't know how I'm gonna lay this out. Go do something else creative. I'm gonna go color with the toddler or something, or me and my baby, we're gonna go sew, or we're gonna go roller skating or something. And I come back, and once they go to bed, if I have an idea and creative hits, you be like, oh shoot, I gotta get this out. I gotta get this out. I'm only going to work for a couple hours if I decide to do that. And then I'm going to bed. Like, bump this. I'm not doing anything past 12 o'clock. Like, y'all can have that. That's for them young kids. I'm 36 years old. I ain't got time for this. Like, I that was the grind and hustle phase. I'm not there no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to set boundaries. Otherwise, I'm going to fall apart. And learning that is how I kept myself from losing it for 10 years. Like, completely.
I was going to say, Danielle, I love whenever we have somebody come on. Actually, this is my first season on as their co-host, right? And everybody that's come on, I kind of feel like, did you put this together for me? Because everybody that comes on, I'm like, that was me, or that is me. And, like I have a conversation with one of my friends. She's a creative coach, and we talk about the feast and famine type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And as the stuff that you're saying, I'm like, yeah, I'm you're saying you're not there anymore. I'm like, I'm there-ishy, like kind of that. And I was thinking about there is that fine line though, when you're in that freelance stage where you're like, you're in the middle of the feast and the famine.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, you just go, and Danielle knows about this because I had this conversation with her today.
Mm-hmm.
Monday it was a famine, but then Tuesday, what the heck? I cannot.
Right.
I am overindulging. But that's the kind of the hard thing is, getting that balance, because I just, like we're talking about being mothers, or if you're single mothers, you're like, but I have to have that baseline. And then it's like, stepping over. I'm still in kind of that fear that it's like, I'm scared, but then it's like, it's that getting rid of that scarcity mindset of a freelancer, going into that piece. Maybe not I'm not a golden corral, but maybe a nice loungy, my appetizer and stuff. Not like I've got 10 minutes before everything shuts down. I better go ahead and eat it all.
Right.
But, so I was wondering, like, did you ever have, like, was there a time when you were kind of like, that the feast or famine, like when the next day all of a sudden, and was that like, how did you get over that? I know it's a lot of it is kind of trust, right? Mm-hmm. And then a lot of it is like, you have to, what I do a lot is lean on the people. Like I had a friend today going, okay, now what I'm freaking out about is not really necessary, right? This is a freak out in a good way. And Danielle, you think it's just you that said that, but no, I had to have, what a noggin had to be, come on, you're good. And then at the end I was like, oh, and then I got it. You get it. But it's, I think, that constant reminder of yourself. And then you think about your babies and you're like, okay, yeah, so this is why, right? This is why.
Feast or famine is every year. Okay, it's every year. And the trick is, how do you beat the famine, right? 2019, right after I had my son, my youngest coworker, I call him, that was the worst year ever. That was the first year I went full-time freelance since I was like 25. Like I went 25 years old. I was like, I could do this. I got it. I quit my job and I had no plan. I was young and I was ambitious and I was dumb. I was like, I'm cute. I'm in Atlanta and I got the talent. I could do this. I lasted 6 months and I had to go find a regular job. And I was like, okay, this ain't gonna work. So I worked, got married, had kids, and life changed. In 2019, my third child, I went full-time freelance, but the clients I had all of a sudden didn't have no projects. And so I was like, The audacity. I told y'all I was going full time and y'all said, yeah, let's do it. And y'all ain't got no jobs. Like, what? I think I made $11,000 that year completely. And we went through some serious changes that year, and that was most of our income for that year. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I apologize. My stuff is like,
you're fine.
Going crazy.
Thank you for your time. Like, girl.
Business bestie texting me, and I'm like, yo, it's after a certain hour. Can't help you. Yeah, boundaries. So I just told her, yeah, I'm working. And she's like, oh, yeah. Face the famine. Okay, so 2019, I mean, that was our whole year. And we had just had a baby. That was the worst. That was the hardest year. And then 2020, I hate to say it, but COVID helped a lot of us. But what I did was that was our chance. That's what we took to beat the famine, because you got unemployment even as self-employed. So I was getting unemployment. He was getting unemployment, and I say it with a pause because, yeah, nah. But so like we had 2 unemployment checks coming in, and then we got our taxes around the same time. So what we did was we stashed 80% of it, right? And only lived off the 20%, because after all of that, 20%, we could be able to do that. And so every week we had a big check coming in. So we stashed 80% and we only lived off 20%. So when the check stopped, we still had money for the rest of the year, right? And so what happened was during that year, because now I had one less thing to worry about, I was able to focus on my messaging and who I was talking to. And in doing that, I was able to attract higher paying clients, more focused clients, and clients who are ready for my higher prices and for my newer prices, right? So I was getting out of the scarcity of, well, nobody's going to pay this much for, a website. Look, if it takes you 80 hours to sketch, design, and build a website, 80 to 140 hours to sketch, you need to be paid 5+ G's for that website. Because even if you're looking at only $55 an hour, right? You got to feed your kids, and you got to pay the rent, and you got to keep the lights on, and you need the internet so that your computer can stay on so you can continue to work. So like people are like, oh no, that's too much. All right, that's cool. I understand. Go to Fiverr, because I'm not your person, right? And once you start doing that, those people will respect you, and they'll do 2 things. Actually, they'll do 3 things. They'll either walk away and be like, oh, well, she had an attitude. She said, I couldn't help you. 2, I respect that. I'm going to save my money up, and when I'm ready, I'm going to come back. Or 3, hey, I can't use you right now, but I know somebody who can. And then they'll refer you to somebody else. The people who fall off, you don't want them no way, because they are going to penny pinch and ask you 5,000 questions about something that you already explained. Okay. 2, the person who's like, I'm gonna save up, that person been following you for a long time, and they already respect what you're doing, and they gonna tell their friends, but they gonna wait till they get their stuff first, and then they gonna refer you out. That 3rd person gonna refer you out, and they gonna get their stuff together, because when they got their money, they gonna come back. And that's what I learned. And so like once you realize that that's how that works, you're not worried about it no more, because at that point you've earned the trust of those who could be, those who are, and you've established your authority by raising your price. Because if you think about it, if you go to Walmart and you see a set of speakers, 3 speakers, right? One is $99, one is $3.99, and one is $7.99, right? Well, $7.99 got 15 features, right? The $3.99 has like 10 features, and the 99 got 10 features. Well, what's wrong with the 99? And why I got the same features as the $3.99? I don't trust that. I don't want the cheapest, right? Now, I may not have the money for the $7.99, but I can pick up that $3.99. You see what I'm saying? And that's how people shop, even for our type of services. And so once you get that, once that's here, man, please, you'll be straight. You'll be straight. You don't even have to like advertise. When people say, I'm looking for a graphic designer, you say, here's my website, take a look at my portfolio and see if it resonates with you. And they'll find you. They will find you. I promise.
I'm so glad that we found you. I had to. I'm like, you said you were in Atlanta. I said I lived in Atlanta a long time ago, but I got another friend to go find when I go visit.
Well, I'm not in Atlanta anymore. No, I went to college in Atlanta, but I'm in DC now.
Oh yeah, I may have a friend in DC. I may now have 2 friends in DC. We're taking. I've been telling the girls we're taking NTG on the road.
I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm sure.
So
I'm telling you.
Stop.
Spoken like a G. Okay, like I'm just saying that for
there's
real.
So
like,
many good. I didn't even bother typing, Danielle. I'm not.
This is so green. I just want to say that out loud. This is so green.
I'm so happy.
Triple OG, triple OG. Like
I feel seen. I feel so seen right now.
I bet there's a lot of people right now that are listening to this like, ooh, she's speaking gospel. I'm like, yes. Completely prophesizing.
Yo, 17 years, right, bro. Right? 17 years, bro.
The seas were gonna part.
Yep.
The skies were gonna open, man. We said it. I love this conversation because again, it really is niche. So we talk a lot about other different types of industries a lot, but I love the fact that we're a group of women, again, designers in this industry, and we all amen into all the things that are coming out of your mouth today. Like, Ashlee, this is amazing. Very fruitful. Priscilla, you have any more questions?
I can't. And Danielle's laughing because I'm the talker. I'm the word bomb.
Really?
It's just, it's sad.
I was prepared.
Right? I know you were prepared. I'm like, and I can't wait. I say this to every single one of our people. I'm like, I'm gonna be friends with you after this because we have lots to talk about.
I say that to my guests too. I be like, look, we gotta holler at each other after this.
Yes.
Okay, I've got more. I'm prepared. I'm ready.
She's ready.
Okay, so as we talk about mastering things, how do you define mastery?
I define mastery as feeling so passionate about something that you don't necessarily want to be the best, but you always want to be the best that you can. And never being afraid to continue to learn. Like with graphic design, I'm self-taught. So like theory, color theory, all that stuff, I learned the hard way on my own and probably several years later than everybody else, right? But what I did was, not towards the end of last year, but like towards the end of 2021, I went and I started buying textbooks about graphic design because I realized that was a hole that I couldn't fill on my own from reading blogs and watching YouTube and stuff. So I actually picked up a book about the psychology of color, right? And I'm not talking about one of these little rinky-dink books. Like, I'm finished.
It's like Professor Ashlee in the house. Yeah.
I went and got like a book, about the psychology of color. And like, even though, like the basics, like green is growth and, vitality, and blue is trust, understanding how people's brains react to like different shades of blue different versions of orange. Like peach is fun and it's light and it's not so heavy, while vibrant orange is very intense. And if you use too much of it, somebody might think it's childish. But once you pair it with white, all of a sudden it's very serious and very masculine. It's like, what? Are you serious? Man, I love this stuff. Yeah. This is my stuff, right?
Yes.
This is my shit. So like learning those types of things and knowing that kind of knowledge is available is just like, that's mastery to me, is being open to learning more and to become even more specialized in what you're doing. And not, trying to be like, oh yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years. I know what I'm doing.
Well, yesterday's price is not today's price. So that applies to education as well. Girl, yes. Applied. I love this forever student mentality. Like there's no real end to knowing infinite knowledge, especially in our industry, because it's ever changing.
I love though that you went back to old school like textbooks and stuff. And Danielle and we've had this talk about, and I've had other designer friends who we talk about. Part of it is also, work ethic, how it's different I mean, not to say that there aren't some that are younger, but like I come from even the more older school of things, but that it's a lot of the stuff, like you talk about the knowledge that we know as designers, knowing them and learning them from people that actually, before all of this fancy, all the things, that they're going to the basics and understanding that, and not like, I'm hitting a couple things on here, I'm adding some things here, that looks all pretty, and let's, like you're saying, glitter, they put the glitter on it, but it's like, you take off the glitter, I'm like, is it still good?
I'm glad you understand. You know how many people don't catch that reference? People don't catch that reference. I'm like, F the glitter. Designers know.
Well, I talk to people about logos, designing them as black, because I was like, you put all the stuff on there. I could put 16 colors on there, but if I make it black and you don't like it, it's not good.
Please say that again for the people in the back. Oh my God.
If you don't like it one color, it's shit. Right? It's kind of like the pretty girl, like the girl that you think she's pretty, and you put on all the makeup, or the people that go on the date and they're wearing the water bra, and you go underneath it and there's like nothing there. That is, I want my money back, and you can't work with that. Like, if people do not like know the basics, and like, I like how you're we talk about the story, like earlier you're saying how you don't just think here, you've got to think of how it's all going to expand. If it ain't going anywhere, it's like that dead end relationship. If your brand or on your design ain't going anywhere, then I mean, you're just stuck. You're on that island. And so I love that you got that little book. It's like, now we have to have a book club. I was like, I knew where all my stuff was.
One step ahead of you. Quit telling all my secrets.
Yeah, I got the library. Okay. I got some stuff I ain't even got to go through yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is so important for me, like, as in those early years of design, when you're the hungry graphic designer, you're in that place of, I'll just charge you $50, for something real quick, when it really was worth like way more than that. I really want to speak to those young, hungry designers, because I feel like it depends on where you are in your season of life, but for a lot of people who are starting out and they're young and they're hungry, is there some particular advice or encouragement you can offer for those who are wanting to level up or master a little bit more defined in the realm of branding and graphic design?
Are they school taught or self-taught?
Either or.
Okay. And the reason why I ask, because your thought process is totally different, right? Because when you're school taught, your initial thought is, I got to build my portfolio and then go out here and show off my resume and try to get an internship. Whereas when you freelancing and you just trying to get in there, you like, look, I just need to get paid. What am I trying to just get paid, right? I'd say if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make more, number one, you got to change your mindset. And the best way to change your mindset is to hang around people who are already doing what you're trying to do. And I know it sounds very cliche and very Oprah-ish and very, like, oh, I've heard that a million times, but I'm not playing. My business bestie, best friend, client, she is a massage therapist, but she also teaches other massage therapists how to properly, provide post-operative massage, right? Well, that means she's dealing with people who are willing to spend tens of thousands of dollars to change their bodies. So that means they're willing to add the additional investment, right, to make sure that after they spent this money, they get what they paid for. And so her audience is massage therapists who are looking for those same people. Well, all them people got money because, So knowing that what she's accomplished and what she's able to do and what she's done, and, just being her designer, I'm like, shit, let me read what she reading, because hell yeah, I need to make kind of money she making. Golly, like, I got 3 kids, she only got 1. She doing what? She like, what? Oh yeah, I need that. And so, we share books, we talk about those things. And so there's a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And that was like the first book that she shared with me. And any major decision you make, like, I promise you, this is in the book. It's this audio book. This is in the book. It says, I have a millionaire mindset, and every decision I make is profitable for me, my business, and my family. Right. And affirmations work. But the thing is, you have to believe them. There's this thing going around right now called like lucky girl syndrome. It's really not. It's manifestation if you believe in that. But there's a phrase that me and my partner say to each other every morning. It's today's going to be a great day because everything always works out for us. The universe will always give me what I need and the desires of my heart. And when you say these things, you say it to yourself, you look at yourself in the mirror, you say it as you're going through the rest of the day, you that changes your mindset. And then you stop thinking with scarcity, right? So then you realize that buying that annual plan for that plug-in is better than paying month to month for that plug-in, right? And then you realize you can license it out. So you think, oh, well, I spent $250 for the year, but I've got 10 clients who need this. And if I charge them $20 to use this, I've made my money back. I didn't lose anything, right? It was an investment. And then you start doing more things like that. And then you start finding those little pockets of passive income. So it's like, I've done a lot of stuff. I didn't even realize I did it until one of my clients knocked me upside the head. I was like, Ashlee, you're working too hard. Like, you did this already. And I'm like, I did it already? She's like, yeah, you did this already. And I'm like, I sure did. I've taught a class. I can repackage that and make the money off of it myself. I already did it. It's already recorded. Set up that passive income. So then that's $1,000 coming in every month that you ain't even got to think about. You know that money coming. Because, come up with a subscription service. Come up with a membership. Come up with something small. Something that people will sign up for and forget about. Something that's $10, $15, $20, right? $20 won't hurt you. $50 will hurt you. $20 won't hurt you. If you forget about that $20, you'll be like, oh, dang, I got to remember to cancel that next month. And you forget about it the next month. You forget about it the next month. But it's hitting your bank account. Okay? Every month. If you got 10 people forgetting about $20, that's $200 every month. You ain't got to think about them. Well, no, 10 people. Yeah, see if it's $20. Yeah, it's $20. You ain't got to think about it no more. You just know that $20 going to hit every month. You see what I'm saying? And if you accumulate those types of things, then you don't have to hustle all the time. You can focus on the bigger projects. So in the graphic design space, we have email templates. We've got website banner templates. We've got, if you're web design, you've got Elementor templates. You've got a book I just put together is a web copy workbook, right? I put it together for my clients because when I'm building a website, I'm not a copywriter. That's not my ministry. I can tweak some stuff that you wrote, but I can't come up with the words. But by giving them this workbook, it helps them work through all the important information that I need in order to finish our project. Well, everybody doesn't need a website, but everybody need that workbook. So if I sell the workbook for $27, and even if I only get 5 people who buy this workbook in a month, that's what, $27? That's $130 that I ain't even have to worry about afterwards. So I made my money back on the 2.5, 3 hours it took me to put the workbook together. You see what I'm saying? So if you're trying to level up, hang around the people that are doing what you're trying to do. That's the first thing, because they're going to put you onto some stuff. They're going to be like, hey, this is coming up. You need to come with me. Or, hey, I'm reading this book. You need to read this book. This helped me a lot. You really need this. You got to change your mindset. You got to get out of the scarcity. Feast and famine is always going to be a feast and famine. The trick is to save the feast for the famine so that you don't starve. Right. And then the third thing is to come up with some passive income so that you're not constantly hustling all the time, so that the money is already coming in. One thing I'm doing right now, I have an account with Flywheel, which is a WordPress hosting platform. I trust Flywheel. I love Flywheel. Ever since I left GoDaddy, Flywheel has been the business and it's been the greatest, right? I resell the hosting to my clients at the rate that it would take me to just pay that bill, right? If I only get 15 of my people to pay their bill, my bill is paid. So anything other than that first 15 is extra for me. So that's an extra X amount of dollars in my pocket I don't have to worry about, right? But they're not just getting anything for free because I'm still maintaining their websites. I'm still checking their websites, make sure their stuff still works. But that's extra money in my pocket I don't have to worry about. That's another 2 bills that I don't have to worry about because it's already taken care of. It's passive income. It's already in there. I know it's going to hit on the first of the month. I know on the first of the month, I'm getting bam. I can guarantee that. You know what I'm saying? Then I got, the class that I need to go ahead and put together and stop BSing about and put that together because I've done it. I've done a branding course. I've done it. I've taught it live. I need to go ahead and repackage that and sell it because that's passive income. It's information that's never going to go out. It's information that's, evergreen, as people say now. It's evergreen. It's going to last forever. The information going to be the same. Define your audience, stay true to yourself, and keep moving. Like 1, 2, 3. Passive income.
Woo-wee. So many gems. Did y'all take those? I mean, again, the gospel has been given. I absolutely love that we talk about, these very easy, practical steps. I love this, Ashlee. Like, I really do, because you break this down so easily, and it makes it, again, very simple very common to the affirmations. It makes it believable. Like, this is attainable for me now because it's 1, 2, and 3, not 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A through Z. It is literally attainable because I can just do these simple, basic steps. So I love that you break this down because there's a lot of women out there who are in this field specifically that are just getting their feet wet. They don't know what to rely on because they're hearing everything come through the mill. And I love the fact that you made that very practical, very real, because it is attainable and it is doable and it is achievable. But a lot of people just don't know that game plan or have the mental capacity to break that down in bite-sized chunks. So the pro has spoken. I love that you broke this down so easy. Like, school us, girl. Like, I love it. I love it.
I'm honored.
This is absolutely fun for me. So I love the fact a couple of takeaways that I really want to kind of go back to. One, like I said, the affirmations work when you believe in them. Whoa. I mean, my heart just whole like everywhere. The impact of passive income, the advice to hang around others already doing the work, right? They're already in it. They can just pass a couple of crumbs to you because they're already in that space. They already know kind of what they're wanting to do. They're driven. And so it's easier for them to pass a couple of those. Hey, there's a few tips that I already picked up. I'm already doing. You can have that. I think that's so incredibly valuable. And
but you know what? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but one thing I learned not even a long time ago, recently though, is that community works better than competition. From joining the groups with, women of color podcasters, from doing the podcast myself with F the Glitter, from being in the BBL group, all of the, not Brazilian Butt Lift, but Business Brand Build Launch group. Look, that group. Yeah. Because every time we say it, I'm like, no, I know who that is now. There's enough for everybody to eat. And so, like, if you're fresh, if you're new, you are not in competition with nobody but yourself. And if a client tries to play you against another designer, you don't want that client. Right. Period. If somebody come to you and they be like, oh, I can get that for cheaper, your response should be, okay, great. Go with them.
Right.
I can't help you. Because anybody that's trying to lowball you does not respect you. They do not respect you. And other designers will always help you eat. I promise you. We are a very nurturing community, even on the masculine side. We are a very nurturing community. Like, hey, I got this job. My schedule is full. I got 2 or 3 da-da-das. You want it? Yeah. All right, cool. Let me introduce y'all. Like, our community is so loving and nurturing and welcoming. Like, you are only in competition with yourself.
Oh, I can tell you, Danielle is that for me. She's like I'm like, Mother, may I have some more? No, but I mean, I'm always, talking about nurturing and learning from each other. It's like, and it's not, what I love about it is that it doesn't necessarily matter whether or not you are, I mean, it does help if you're not necessarily green, but it's like, I'm a lot older than Yins and stuff like that, but it's like I learned so much from Danielle because she's kind of more my this old brain of mine don't work as quickly, right? Danielle puts it in easy words for me to understand. No, but I mean, it's like, and the thing is, like, she can talk to me in a way, because I'm also thinking about people that are seasoned and are not so hip. which would be me. You know, I know it seems like I am, but you know, it's like, and I go to the people that are, you know, like Danielle, and I'll go, can you explain this to me? Or, hey, can you, like, this is how I know it. Like, we were just talking about that for font management or something. I'm like, back when I was using Cork Express, before everybody was doing Canva, hey, what did you do? You know, and then like, and it's nice because then to have that, even though you're from, you know, the time machine type of thing, it's nice to have that, you know, that middle ground, you know, that connects and stuff. But yeah, but I mean, I know I can say I'm excited though, because I've been a little bit, since it's everything's all, you know, everything's like virtual and stuff. It does open up so much the community, you know. So, I mean, and especially me being in the space of Danielle, I am meeting a whole lot more people because I'm just in my little house here, Dublin, Ohio.
Like the rest of us, for real.
Right?
Yeah. I think community is everything. And when you find the right community, it doesn't hold you back. It's going to push you forward. And that is something that I have repeatedly experienced from finding my people, right? Finding our tribe. Being amongst others that are in similar paths or similar fields even. So that's really the heart of this podcast, was to find more of our tribe, find more women who are wanting to kind of grow, listen, learn, and feel empowered and encouraged to step out and do something bold and different for themselves. So I'm really hoping that many of you in listening rate and listening to this episode is feeling the full effect of Ashlee Green today, because she is bringing the thunder. She is bringing it. I love it. Ashlee, I just wanted to, for people who want to get to know you more, find you, engage with you, interact with you in any way, shape, or form, how can they find you?
You can find me everywhere. No, there is the podcast website, which is efftheglitter.com. That's EFFTHEGLITTER.com. My graphic design branding website, which is where I actually like my work, is Louise Creative, ALOUISE creative.com. And then my handles on everything from TikTok to Twitter to Facebook to Instagram is F the Glitter or Louise Creative. I have both of them because I came up in the era where you have to have all of the accounts. So I have all of the accounts. I don't use Twitter though. Twitter's kind of there, but I'm not active.
We are currently on Twitter, but I don't think we're going to be on there very long because of this platform. Like the way it's just going, I'm like,
yeah,
it's not our
Twitter has gotten a little raunchy lately in the past couple of years, and I don't really vibe with it.
Yeah,
it's some stuff.
I'm with you entirely. I absolutely love. We are on Clubhouse, so maybe if we connect on there, that would be a cool spot. But for sure, like, I absolutely love this conversation and everything we've encompassed. Anything in around mastery, especially in the realm of graphic design industry, girl. You beat us, okay? Like you just beat us. I absolutely love it, and I love the fact too that you leave us with a lot of encouragement, some deeper thoughts to think about our processes and our intention. I love the educational components always and the ways that we can level up, but that community, the heart of it being that community that we can continue to inspire and encourage each other in whatever realm that is outside of even graphic design, that we can be that support to each other. That's super important. And I love that you embody that every single day with every graphic and client that you touch. So thank you for your presence today.
Thank you for having me. Y'all got to come on to my show now.
All right. So we're going to wrap this up with a real quick flash questionnaire, and you literally just tell us the first thing that pops into your head. All right, something new you've learned in the past year, whether it be a life lesson, hobby, or fun fact.
That anything can be fixed with chocolate and a glass of wine.
Ooh, amen. That's so the truth.
Did you know that there's like a scientific reason for that though?
I know about the wine and the chocolate, but not unless I have them together. What's the...
So the chemical compounds in chocolate release the endorphins in your brain. And so it gives you a slight high or a euphoria kind of feeling.
Yes.
And so that's why, like, after you're hurt, if you eat chocolate almost right away, like your body kind of immediately calms down.
Harry Potter was
because
real.
chemically, chocolate is the shit. Like,
yeah, come on. I'm for this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that makes perfect sense. Chocolate and wine, that's why we go for it every single time.
When my kids start crying, I just go, eat the damn bar, right?
just a little piece. Don't get them the whole bar, because then you have
forget about the Band-Aid.
Here, just take a piece of candy. Shut up. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so favorite vacation or getaway spot?
I don't have a favorite vacation spot. I'm still learning what the vacation spots, like I'm just now coming into my hot mom era.
Come on.
Where I'm free to go do things. So like the last vacation I had was Disney World with the kids, and that was pretty cool. We were in Orlando, but we had like Airbnb, and we had like a whole house, and like my family's pretty big, so it's like my 3 kids, my parents, and me and my niece. So it was like 7 or 8 of us in the house, and it had a pool in the backyard. It was cool because like we had like a whole little thing. And so we went to Disney World, and then we were like, all right, we're hot and hungry, so then we went back to the house and ate, and then we swam for a little bit, took a nap, and then we went back to Disney World. So that was pretty cool. Like it wasn't like we spent $150 just to only that one time. Like we were able to enjoy the whole day, so it was nice.
Oh, those are beautiful memories, though. I love that. Oh my goodness!
Like watching them get excited about the fireworks, like I almost cried because it was like, oh, this is the magic,
right? You see it on the screen, but now you see
right. Like I started to realize that. Oh, this is why we spent. Oh. Okay, yes. It's not for that. This is for us, but that's for. Okay, Disney. Man. I see you.
See you. Right. Okay, so sweet snacks or savory snacks?
Both.
Girl.
That's my final answer.
Okay, Harry Potter or Star Wars?
Harry Potter, Ravenclaw.
Right here.
Yo.
Ravenclaw right here. Yes. Okay. Yes. Digital books or physical books?
I love the smell of paper. I am still a wedding stationer, and my first graphic job was in a print shop, and touching the paper, seeing something when it's done, that letterpress. Oh my God, feeling the texture is nothing like paper.
I love it. Most of our people are like physical books, so we're working on giving a scented physical book candle, like to everybody for like being a guest. That's what we're working on.
There's a science to that too, though.
Okay, tell me more.
So the ink, the way that they make the ink, like the vanilla I think it's called vanillin or whatever it is that's in the ink, in the black ink. Like as it ages, the smell gets sweeter. So like as you turn the pages of the book, it releases it and oxidizes, and that's what triggers us to be like.
So if you get a paper cut and you bleed from it and you have the double chocolate in the wine.
No, unless you introduce the paper cut. That's it.
That's a good try.
But yeah, like when I'm a random fact person. Like that,
I love it.
Like random shit. I'm like,
I'm here for it.
And then it like gets stored back here somewhere. But yeah, it's science.
I love it. Okay, if you could go back in time, where would you go and whom would you see?
If I could go back in time, I wouldn't. Ain't nothing back in time for me. Ain't nothing but I'm a Black woman. Ain't nothing back in time for me. But headaches, heartache, and danger. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Nope. I'm gonna stay right here. I'm good.
Understandably. Understandable. Like I already knew. Like, okay. Your love languages, or love language or love languages.
Acts of service and physical touch.
Oh, I can see that.
I'm a snuggler. I like holding hands and the kissiness and all that. My babies, they're big on random hugs, and they just walk around, but like, I love you. I'm like, I love you too. But acts of service, I think acts of service though, low key is like a trauma response. So I don't know. I know touch is a big one, but yeah, we'll say that.
Okay. All right. The last question is best part of being a grown-up.
The best part of being a grown-up is when you finally realize you really can do what you want when you want to do it. Like working for yourself, you buy stuff and you be like, oh, I can have a glass of wine at 12 o'clock. I'm an adult. Like, I can do that, you know? Or you be like, I can't eat these cookies at 10 o'clock at night. I'm a grown-up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can do this. I don't need permission. Or if you decide to take a vacation, like, you don't have to ask nobody, can you take a vacation? You're like, I can do this. I've got the money to do this.
Right.
Especially our generation, Zennial millennials, like, we're just kids who got grown-up money now. So I can buy that $300 costume and not feel bad about it because I like that wig. And them shoes look good on me. So, you know. I just started cosplay last year. I went as a Photon to Awesome Con here in DC. And my dad, it was so cool because like the whole family participated. So like my dad dressed up as Doctor Strange. Yes. And my brother dressed up as Sinbad from one of his favorite anime. And the girls dressed up as Descendants, the Disney Descendants.
Yes.
Like, two of the characters.
Some pictures, please.
Yes.
And my youngest coworker, he dressed up as Spider-Man. So it was just real cool. Like everybody participated. It was fun. Dope. So we're definitely gonna do it again.
Oh, that's dope. Oh my gosh. Yeah, now you're really speaking my love language. Yes. That's a big one for me. I love it. Oh my goodness, this has been so cool. Thanks everyone for listening to the More Than Graphics podcast. We invite you to subscribe and follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, y'all. Until next time.
And just like that, the episode ends, but the convo has just begun.
Thanks for listening to the MTG podcast.
We want to hear from you. If you enjoyed our podcast, give it a review on your listening app of choice.
Continue to follow us across MTG socials.
And look out for bonus content releases throughout the year. This podcast is produced by Octane Design Studios.
Until next time, friend.